Thank you for joining us for today's info session with Independent Sector's member and partner, the Do Good Institute at the University of Maryland. As you'll soon hear more about, IS and DGI share a commitment to furthering the development of leaders in the charitable sector. And we're very happy to work with DGI to offer 3 IS members a $5,000 scholarship to the University of Maryland's online graduate certificate in nonprofit management and leadership program. And it's not too late to share this opportunity with others in your network, so we encourage you to continue to do that. And before we dive more into the program, I'm going to share a quick overview of Independent Sector and a little bit more about our community building work. Just one moment while I bring up a little bit more information. So as you may know, Independent Sector is the only national membership organization that brings together grant makers and grant seekers. And our members advance a diverse number of missions across the United States, in almost every state across the country. And our members include both local and regional organizations to large national organizations. Everyone is part of the membership here at Independent Sector. And as a reminder, your Independent Sector membership is designed to do 3 things: to keep you informed, accelerate and catalyze your work and that of your colleagues, and to build your community and connect you with others across the Independent Sector membership community and beyond. Independent Sector exists because we know that our work has more meaning and makes more impact when we work together as a collective group. When nonprofits and foundations collaborate, we know that our potential for impact only can grow and grow. Independent Sector has 3 strategies for transforming civil society and building a healthy and equitable civil society so all people in the US can thrive. One of our strategies for our work is understanding and accelerating the impact of civil society. We also seek to build community by creating an environment where lasting relationships can form. And we also advocate for public policies that strengthen civil society and help nonprofits do their work. Upswell is a key part of our community building work to bring together change makers. And this year in 2021, from the pop-ups to the summit that we'll be hosting in October, Upswell will focus on health and racial justice. We hope that you will join us for some of the upcoming pop-ups in July and September, and that you'll also plan to join us for the Upswell Summit coming up this October. If you have any questions about those offerings, events coming up, or about this scholarship opportunity specific to Independent Sector members, please feel free to contact us. Our contact information is available at independentsector.org/membership, and we're always happy to help you. So thanks again for joining us today. And at this time, I'm going to turn us over to Charlie Cummings from the Do Good Institute. He'll tell you a little bit more about himself and a lot more about the program.
Thank you, Lindsay. I'm going to share my screen now, share my slides. So I'm going to tell you about the Graduate Certificate in Nonprofit Management and Leadership Program. As Lindsay mentioned, we have a partnership between the Do Good Institute at the University of Maryland School of Public Policy and Independent Sector to award 3 $5,000 tuition scholarships to Independent Sector members to enroll in the Graduate Certificate in Nonprofit Management Leadership. So my purpose today is to help you decide if this program is right for you. I'm going to tell you why the program exists, kind of who it's designed for, about our students, I'll tell you about the courses, the faculty, the application process, the fellowship opportunity, and then we'll close with some time for Q&A. If at any point you have any questions about whether this is the right program for you. I do a lot of consultations with students who are considering the program. You can email me at any time. My email address is at the bottom of this slide, and it'll appear again at the end of the presentation as well. So why does this program exist? Well, it's really designed for working professionals. It's designed for people who have full-time jobs and don't want to take a break from their career in order to advance their nonprofit career, to develop more nonprofit management leadership skills. So all of our courses are online, offered online and offered on weeknights. They're designed for working professionals. And we think that there are really four main value propositions for the professionals who take these online weeknight classes. First, you earn an accredited graduate certificate that helps you advance your career. The keyword here is accredited. You might see other universities' nonprofit management certificate programs that aren't actually graduate programs. It might just be a few drop-in classes or a few weekend workshops, but you're not gaining graduate credit. We have gotten approval for this program from the Maryland Higher Education Commission. And the program carries 12 graduate credits that can be applied to a master's degree or a doctorate program at the University of Maryland in the future. And the word accredited also just speaks to the rigor and the robustness of this graduate program. Additionally, professionals who take these classes gain skills that make you more effective and valuable to your organization. As one of our students told me, she graduated last month and told me in our sort of exit interview, she said, "What I learned on Monday night, I was able to apply to my job on Tuesday." Everything that we do at the Do Good Institute is geared around experiential learning and real world application. And so all of our classes are designed to give you skills that make you more effective and valuable to your organization now. It's not the kind of program where you have to wait until you graduate in order to start applying what you're learning to your career. It's designed for you to take what you're learning in class and apply it immediately. Third, you'll learn how to confront the challenges that nonprofit organizations face. The classes meet once per week and are led by a professor that has decades of real-world experience. And you'll be in class with students who range in experience from a few years to several decades in the nonprofit sector. And through role-playing, case studies, simulations, discussions, you'll learn about a lot of the challenges that nonprofit organizations face and also different approaches to confronting those challenges. And finally, you'll join an active growing network of high impact professionals. You're already members of the Independent Sector Network, which is certainly one of the best, if not the best, network of nonprofit professionals in the United States. We are small, admittedly small. Our graduate certificate program has only been around for 3 years, but we're growing rapidly and we're placing alums in some really great organizations and leadership roles, which is going to lead to more internship opportunities, more job opportunities, networking opportunities for our students as we continue to grow and grow. Throughout my presentation, I'm just going to share some testimonials from students so that you can hear from people who have been in the program about the program and not just from me. This first quote is from Brianna Aldridge, who graduated last year. It just speaks to our focus on helping students get connected to career opportunities. I'll tell you more about our approach there. Second reason that this program exists is, we are just outside of DC, which has a thriving nonprofit sector. Over 25% of jobs in DC are at nonprofits. And we're beginning to expand beyond the DC region now that we're offering our program online. So you might be tuning in from a different city in the United States, or maybe even outside the United States. You can certainly complete this program virtually online. And we're able to, through this program, connect students' skills and passions with opportunities in a wide range of really high impact and I think interesting and exciting sectors to be in right now. From national, international charities, corporate social responsibility, think tanks, education, environmental issues. This isn't a program that serves as a pipeline into one type of nonprofit career. It really meets students where you are and helps you gain skills and experience and connections to be able to excel in whatever part of the nonprofit world you're most passionate about. The third reason that this program exists is to serve as a pipeline for future nonprofit leaders. According to the Nonprofit Education Survey Project, roughly 3/4 of nonprofit leaders are going to leave their positions in the next 5 to 10 years, which is going to result in 500,000 organizations needing to fill their leadership roles. This program prepares people to lead nonprofit organizations, and we're actually getting funding from corporate partners and philanthropists and foundations who have an interest in making sure that there is a strong pipeline to nonprofit leadership from people who are working at nonprofits to be able to gain the skills and experience and connections to be able to lead an organization in just a few years, so that this the fact that there's so much leadership turnover right now in the nonprofit sector doesn't lead to a leadership crisis. For you, this means there is a ton of opportunity to be able to climb the ladder quickly and lead an organization with so much turnover happening right now and looming in the near future. Here's another testimonial, this one from Chris Willingham, who is he's actually, I'm sharing this quote because he's a retired Marine. He completed 20 years in the Marines last year, and he's assuming the presidency of the US War Dogs Association, a nonprofit based in New Jersey that provides healthcare and retirement benefits to dogs that have served in the armed forces. And so, upon retiring from the Marines, Chris was asked to be president of the US War Dogs Association, and he'd never done anything in his career except be a Marine. And so, he recognized that he needed to be able to gain management and leadership skills. And so, he enrolled in our program so that he could accept that leadership position and help his organization continue to grow and thrive in the nonprofit sector in the space that they're trying to make an impact. So I'm going to shift gears now and tell you about the student body, who you would find yourself in class with should you choose to enroll in this program. We really have 5 archetype students, 5 categories of students who enroll in this program. The biggest one, I'd say over 50% of our students are professionals who are at various stages of their career, from people who just came out of Peace Corps or AmeriCorps or Teach for America, and they've gotten some great nonprofit experience and they want to be able to manage and lead a program or an organization in the near future. We ranging from people who like that who are early in their career to people who have been fundraising for maybe 30 years and they'd like to break out of the fundraising development director silo and be able to be a program director or an executive director. So this category of students can generally be summed up as people who work in the nonprofit sector, who want to advance their career, take the next step, take on more responsibility, make a bigger impact, and do better for themselves as well. Second group, our second biggest group, are startup founders, people who have created some sort of social impact project or program, or maybe it even is an official nonprofit already, and they're looking for the right, looking to learn the right way to do things. So they enroll in this program to learn kind of the complete holistic picture of nonprofit management so that they can begin to scale up whatever they're working on for social or environmental impact. Our third group consists of executive directors. And it might be surprising that we have executive directors in a graduate certificate for nonprofit management and leadership because they're already at the pinnacle of their career. They're already at the top of the organization. But as you may have seen in the nonprofit sector, a lot of people in leadership roles kind of find themselves there. Maybe it's because they've been at the organization for a long time. It's something that they're really passionate about. They're great at learning on the job, but they haven't actually received the formal training in terms of like taxes and compliance, or how to direct a board, how to do strategic communications, how to set up HR systems. And so executive directors enroll in this program to, again, in the words of one of our alums, learn the right way to do things. Fourth, and this probably doesn't apply to the independent sector membership, but we have a lot of UMD staff members and graduate students who are in other master's and doctoral programs who are interested in the graduate certificate to complement the subject matter expertise that they're gaining. Say maybe they're getting a master's in social work, and so the School of Social Work is outstanding and prepares you to be an awesome social worker, but it doesn't prepare you to manage and lead a social work organization. And so if you see yourself as a leader and you want to be in a leadership position in an organization, you need to be able to complement your subject matter expertise with management and leadership skills and competencies. And finally, like Chris Willingham, who you met on the previous slide, people who are wishing to change careers into the nonprofit sector. We have people who are, retiring from tech careers and, wanting to have a second career in the nonprofit sector. And so they're enrolling in our program because they don't want to have to start over kind of at the bottom of the ladder and have to climb up again. They want to be able to land in an executive position because they have a lot of work experience, just not nonprofit experience. This testimonial is from another student who graduated last year that just speaks to the diversity of our student body and the cohort experience, how you'll be taking classes with the same students, you'll be doing group projects with students who really get to know each other well. And of course, since all of our students are working to make the world a better place, make an impact for other people, they tend to be really friendly and generous, and it's just a great community to be a part of. Just shine a spotlight on 3 of our archetypes of students. These are actual students who have completed the program. Rachel Day had already been working in fundraising and leveraged this program to get an awesome job at the Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine. Cedric Nwafor is one of our startup founders, founded Roots Africa, sort of a side project in 2017, enrolled in this program in 2019 to learn how to strengthen and scale up Roots Africa. The fundraising class inspired him to apply what he was learning and launch a fundraising campaign, which enabled him to raise $20,000 for Roots Africa, more than he ever thought he'd be able to raise for that organization. That enabled him to hire an intern, which helped him enter a pitch competition and win, which brought him international recognition and helped him get $5,000 more for winning that pitch competition. So you can kind of see how for a startup founder being in this program can start to build that snowball effect, build momentum towards scale and growth. And Pam Vega was already a grad student at UMD who complemented her master's in health administration with the graduate certificate, and now she has a great job in a management role at Primary Care Coalition in Montgomery County, Maryland. I'm going to shift gears again now, tell you about the courses. So to earn the graduate certificate, you have to complete 4 courses. You can take all courses in one semester, which I think would be nearly impossible if you have a full-time job. Most of our students take 1 class per semester. Some take 2 classes per semester. You can complete the program in between 1 and 4 semesters. We have 2 required courses. We offer these courses every semester. One is called Nonprofit Management Leadership. That'll be on Wednesday nights in the fall. We'll have 1 section that's online, and we'll have a separate section with a different instructor offered in person in College Park. Our other required course is Financial Management for Nonprofits. This will be on Thursday evenings online. I got slides that talk about each of the courses, so I'll go into more detail about each course and who's teaching it. So Nonprofit Management Leadership and Financial Management are our 2 required courses. We'll offer those every semester. Our electives, we won't necessarily offer every semester, we'll offer them most semesters. So for the fall, we'll be offering Fundraising on Mondays, Strategic Planning and Implementation on Tuesdays, and Social Entrepreneurship will also be on Tuesdays. So as you can see, we have classes Monday through Thursday in the evening in the fall. A lot of people ask me, what is the time commitment? As I shared in my first slide, this is a real graduate program. You'll get your money's worth. You'll reap the rewards of the effort that you put in. But to make it more concrete, each course will meet around 12 times during the semester. Each week will be like its own module. So take the fundraising class, for instance. One week you'll be learning about the theory of donor-centered fundraising. Another week you'll be learning about annual giving campaigns. Another week you'll be learning about online fundraising campaigns. So you can't afford to miss a week, because each week is like its own class in a way. It's like its own skill set, its own set of competencies. There will be readings, there will be assignments. The assignments are mostly geared towards real world application. So it all adds up to about 5 to 7 hours of student work each week. Classes meet for 2.5 hours. Some of that is live and some of it will be recorded content, but you'll have about 2.5 hours of time with your professor every week. And then on average, 3 to 5 hours a week of readings and assignments. Here is our faculty team for the fall. We have 5 courses, but 6 sections. So 2 of these professors are teaching the same course, but different sections. One will be online, one will be in person. Our faculty members, all of them, take a real interest in getting to know students and helping them get from where they are when they come into the class to where they want to be, for the purpose of their career. And so our faculty serve as mentors and coaches for our students. They're super generous with their networks, making connections, helping students get new job opportunities. If they're looking to change careers, they might need to start with an internship opportunity. Our faculty members are awesome resources for career development. They prefer small class sizes because they want to be able to provide that personalized attention. And everything that we do at the Do Good Institute is hands-on and geared towards real-world application. So even our graduate courses, you'll be reading, you'll have readings, you'll come to class for discussions, but most of your assignments will be pushing you out into the real world to apply what you're learning. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about each of the professors in each of the classes. But first, I want to tell you, what the program involves beyond class. I mean, these are all optional things. If you have a family and a full-time job, maybe all you can handle is attending 1 class per week, and that's fine. But if you want to get more out of the program, we do offer a lot more. We have weekly networking and professional development events. Virtually, in the fall, these will be virtual and in person in College Park for people who want to come to campus. We have invitations to join exclusive mastermind groups for fundraising, financial management, and program evaluation in the fall. As we are part of the Do Good Institute, which, the Do Good Institute is the hub for social entrepreneurship at the University of Maryland, and most of the programming is for undergrads, but our graduate students can apply for mini grants for their nonprofit startups or for the organization that they're working at or volunteering at. We provide grants every semester to our students. They can join the Do Good Accelerators, fellowship incubator programs. They can compete in the Do Good Challenge, which is our annual social impact prize competition, which helps raise a lot of awareness for your nonprofit and also comes with cash prizes for your nonprofit. We also offer career coaching and resume writing support and mentorship opportunities, as I mentioned, with the faculty, also with our staff and our alums. And we have more and more alums. Every semester we graduate more people who we have made a big investment in, and they in turn are interested in helping us invest in the next cohort of students. And so our alums are great mentors and career connections as well. So I'm going to wrap up by telling you about each of the classes. I'm not going to read the class description because you can read it, but I'll just tell you a little bit about when the class is, who's teaching it, and what other students have said about the class. So nonprofit management leadership will be on Wednesdays. The online section will be with Jeff Franco. The in-person section will be with Joni Tremblay-Bohr. I only have a faculty spotlight here for Jeff Franco, but he was the executive director of City Year in DC for 11 years. Currently the CEO of a leadership consulting firm. He's also the founder of an organization called the Transformation Leadership Institute. This all adds up to Jeff Franco is a nonprofit leadership guru and someone who has an enormous network and loves to make connections for students to leaders in his network. I'll share a quote from Mariam Mokhtarzada, who was actually already an executive director when she took this class. I love sharing her experience because she had a transformational experience in this class. She says that it changed her life. She was already an executive director. She didn't have like a really strong conception of what her leadership philosophy is. She'd never been pushed to establish her own leadership philosophy, nor did she have like a real like strong holistic understanding of all the different components that make up a nonprofit organization. And this class covers like all the different offices, functions of nonprofits, not just the C-suite, but everything that a leader of a nonprofit needs to know about. Our other required class is Financial Management for Nonprofits. It'll be on Thursdays in the fall, taught by Professor Dietz, Nathan Dietz. This is the class actually where we get like the best reviews from students. It's also the class that students dread the most. Most of them save it until the end of the program. I think they're just hoping that it'll go away, because things I've heard from students, math is my least favorite subject. I don't have any experience with accounting. I hate Excel. I don't know how to use Excel. But Professor Dietz does so much to help students get comfortable with Excel, confident in their math skills, and familiar with the accounting principles that they need for budgeting, financial forecasting, tax compliance, things that you never thought you would be able to do. You not only will know how to do, but you'll enjoy doing these things because he's so good at connecting what you're learning in class to the real world. And he's so generous with his time. So many students meet with him one-on-one to catch up on things that they're struggling with, because this stuff is challenging. And he's been teaching this class every semester since the start of the program in 2018, and still I know he makes changes and improvements every semester because he's so committed to giving students a great experience. So he's a fantastic professor, which is summed up by Amari Alvarez here. She says in the beginning of the semester it didn't make sense. She never worked in finance. She didn't have a clue what they do, but now she's comfortable working with her executive director to come up with a budget, analyze 990 forms. I mean, Amari is one of our students who just came out of AmeriCorps. She's really early in her career. And the fact that, what she learned in this class gave her an audience with her organization's executive director, enabled her to work closely with the leader of her organization, I think presents great opportunities to her for the rest of her time at that organization and for her career. Next class is the fundraising class. This is an elective. It'll be on Mondays from 6:30 to 9 p.m. online. In the fall, it's going to be taught by Professor Ebony Cooper-John, who is the founder and executive director of the Young Black and Giving Back Institute. Last year, so every year, the Young Black and Giving Back Institute has an annual giving day for Black-led, Black-benefiting nonprofits. And last year, they raised over $400,000 for hundreds of nonprofit organizations all over the country. She's also been a diversity, leadership, fundraising consultant through her own LLC for over a decade. So her network is nationwide. She has experience working with experience helping raise money for all sizes nonprofit organizations. She's really creative. She's a really dynamic teacher, just a great person to know. She joined our faculty team in the spring, and we're so glad to have her on the team. She's just another fantastic teacher. Aaron Bobick, who was already working in development at the University of Maryland when he enrolled in this course, and he recognized where he had the most experience going in, but still he learned a lot. He was doing fundraising full time and still learned a lot from this course. And also just where fundraising fits into the whole organization, like how it connects to financial management, how it connects to strategic planning, how it connects to the executive functions of the organization. This course will help you understand not only how to raise more money, but how to integrate fundraising into everything that the organization does. Strategic planning will be on Tuesdays with Professor Rob Sheehan, former CEO of Leadership, current academic director of the Executive MBA program at the University of Maryland's Business School. He's also the author of a book on strategic planning. This one is my personal favorite in our program. I took this class about 10 years ago when I was a master's student. I took it with Professor Sheehan, and it has, I mean, I've benefited so much from this class, like several times over the past 10 years when I've been in an organization that has needed to go through a strategic planning process. I've been able to lead that. I can't tell you how beneficial that's been for my career to be able to lead, because when you're doing strategic planning, you're working with the board, you're working with the, the executive director, other members of the C-suite, as well as various other stakeholders in the organization. So when you're in the leadership position, leading the strategic planning process, you just get so much visibility. You get, you get seen as a leader, and it's also just such important work. And it's work that few people in nonprofit organizations know how to do. Like normally you have to hire a consultant to come in and lead your organization through strategic planning. So to have this skill set is super valuable to anybody who wants to be in a management or leadership role at a nonprofit. Similar to me, Samantha Sisiski, who was taking this class last semester, she shared this testimonial while she was in the class. Just a few weeks in, she was already able to apply what she was learning, and it got her appointed to a strategic planning committee by her CEO, and was in a position to help lead the process to plan the next 3 years of strategy and growth. I mean, this class sets you up to be able to be a leader in your organization, like just a few weeks in to the semester. It's so valuable. Finally, our new class for the fall, class we've never offered before, is social entrepreneurship. We're really excited to be offering this class. I would say even more excited to be adding Bethany Henderson to our faculty team. She's the CEO of DC Scores, which is a really successful, large and growing nonprofit based around soccer and poetry in DC, but they're expanding their model to other cities around the United States. And Bethany is the president of that network as they're, operating a franchise model to expand their program across the United States. Bethany's leading locally and helping also lead the national expansion. She's been a White House fellow. I think she's one of the better known nonprofit leaders in the DC region. And so, we're really lucky to have her, and our students are going to be so fortunate to be able to learn social entrepreneurship from such a great social entrepreneur and leader. I don't have a quote from a student who's taken this class because we haven't offered this class, but Greg Casement actually has been lobbying me to add this class to the lineup for the fall. And so I just shared a quote from him, really just to highlight that we're responsive to our students. As I've said a few times, we want to meet students where they are and help them get to where they want to be. People often ask me what outcome could be expected from this program, and it's different for every student. If you want to change careers, that is our goal for you in this program. We want to help you change careers. If it's to get into a leadership role in your organization, that's our goal for you. For Greg, he's a high school music teacher, and he wants to create a music education nonprofit that can serve students in high school whose high schools don't have a music program. And so clearly, Greg is at least entrepreneurial minded, wants to be a social entrepreneur, and being in this program, he wants to be able to launch this music education nonprofit. And so we needed a social entrepreneurship class to serve him. And so, it was great knowing what Greg's goals are, and also honestly knowing that there's other students like him who could really benefit from a course like this. And so we worked hard to get it added to the lineup for the fall. So those are the courses. If you're interested in joining us for the fall, our priority application deadline is June 30th. The final deadline is July 31st. If you go to our program's website, which we'll link to, I think you'll, with this webinar recording, you'll be receiving an email from the independent sector. It will have a link to the page about the graduate certificate program. There's a button on that page that says Get Started. You click on that to access the application. When you're in the application, you need to make sure to put in the program code Z116. It's because the University of Maryland's graduate school handles all applications for every graduate program at the university. So in order for your application to get to us, you need to have that code in there. For this graduate certificate program, you do not need to have taken the GRE. You don't need any letters of recommendation. The application is actually pretty easy. You need to upload your resume, a PDF version of your undergraduate transcript, and a short statement of purpose. But it's the kind of application you can complete in a couple hours. You do need to have an undergraduate degree, as this is an accredited graduate program. And the University of Maryland has kind of a, in my opinion, a pretty high bar for admission of needing to have a 3.0 GPA. They want to see, the graduate school wants to see that you've been successful in an academic setting, because this is a challenging graduate program. It's pretty hard. If you didn't have a 3.0, if it was a 2.9, you're fine. I think you're fine if you had over a 2.75, but below that, you'll need to spend a little bit of extra time on your application, especially on your statement of purpose, to demonstrate that you can be successful in a challenging graduate program. So independent sector members, I should say 3 independent sector members for the fall semester will be awarded a $5,000 tuition fellowship. And these awards are being made on a rolling basis, which kind of, means first come, first serve. So this is something that you're interested in, I encourage you to apply as soon as you can. Of course, if you have any questions, you can contact me at any time. There's my email address again. I'm also happy to do a consultation via phone or Zoom. I do several of these every week. People who are interested in the program, but they're not sure if they have the time. They're not sure if this is really what they need, if it's the type of nonprofit management certificate program that they need for their career. I give honest consultations. I don't receive a commission for applicants' admissions. Our program is better off when our students know exactly what they're getting themselves into and feel confident in their decision to enroll, because almost everyone in our program is working full-time. A lot of people have families. A lot of people have like nonprofit side hustles that they're trying to get off the ground, or they're active volunteers, active in their churches. So, I want you to be able to be successful if you do enroll in this program. So I'm happy to have a conversation with you about your own personal circumstances, and if you can fit this program into your life, and if it really is what you need and what you're looking for. The last link here is the program's website. So yeah, if you're interested, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I would really welcome having a conversation with you. And that concludes my presentation. So I'm going to invite Lindsay back on. I'll stop sharing my screen.
Thank you, Charlie, for sharing such a complete view of the program and the impact on the students who've completed the program as well too. I did want to mention we'd received one question from an independent sector member. I think you touched on this, but just to make sure their question's answered, they were wondering if they had already completed an MBA program, if they could still complete this certificate program as well.
Yeah, definitely. We have a lot of students who have advanced degrees in this program, up to, we have a number of PhD students in this program, so it doesn't preclude you from being able to get a graduate certificate.
Thank you. So on behalf of independent sector, we're really grateful for our partnership with DGI at the University of Maryland, and we hope that staff from independent sector membership organizations who meet the criteria will consider applying before the deadline. And we hope you'll share it with your network as well. So if you have any questions about the program, please feel free to contact Charlie by his email, or you can also contact independent sector for questions more specific to IS. at membership@independentsector.org. So thanks again for joining us today.